Hell yeah. Hey, it's Friday. Welcome to the Metalhead. And we got, first of all, cheers. Cheers to everybody. This one's for Moon Kyle. He's off to the doctors again. Dude, this one's for you. Cheers, my man. Some Jack Daniels, baby. That's how we do it. Yeah. So today we have got Bastion. It's a band from South Africa. They reside somewhere in East London. That's like down near the tip of Africa. The darkest, deepest continent. Yeah. So we are going to try and bring on the master behind Bastion, and it's Michael van Buuren. So in a few moments, I just want to see if I can get him on live. So just hang 10, we can listen to a little bit of Bastion in the background. Yeah, so we're just waiting for Michael to come on. He's down there in South Africa. The link down there is crap. Everything down there is crap. No, it's okay sometimes, but mostly it sucks. So yeah, we're waiting for the creator of Bastion to come on. You can go check him out on Facebook. They got a Facebook, if you put in Bastion Band, you can go onto Facebook, check him out. He's got some other songs on there, like one of the songs we're listening to right now, which is really cool. And the band is still new. And but what they've been delivering, what Michael's been delivering, is really good. I really dig it. Some really catchy stuff, and I think to see the band play live would be really awesome. I think it is just a one-man show at the moment, to be honest, but I think when he puts it all together and he can do a live show, it's going to be freaking awesome. Right, let me see if I can try and bring him on. Hold on a sec. So that was Bastion. Hold on a sec. We are having technical difficulties from South Africa side. Give me a second. I just want to. Right. Let's see if I can get you some more Bastion in the background. Yeah. Cheers, guys. Hey, Michael.
Yeah, I'm here.
Hold on a sec. Right, so, Michael, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you clearly.
Well, I can't get you on the screen, but I'm sure everyone can hear you.
I'm hoping so.
How you been, dude?
Been alright. Hey, decided to get stuck back into the music again, and I came up at the end of all of that with Brimstone and Nash.
And that's a freaking cool track, my man. I put it on, and it was like so catchy. It's like, dude, when you need to get this band like fully together so that you can play live, because it's gonna cook.
Yeah, I'd love to do that. You know, I mean, with this particular song, I was actually just messing around a little bit on the guitar, wondering what I could possibly write. And at that point in time, I'd been listening to things like Sabbath's War Pigs. I've been listening to Mudvayne's Prod, bits and pieces of Nirvana here and there, and it just suddenly dawned on me, you know, the lyrics just started flowing, and I ended up with Brimstone and Nash.
So what is Brimstone and Nash about? Tell us a little bit about that.
Brimstone and Nash is pretty much along the same vein as what Sabbath War Pigs is, you know, of these warmongers that use and abuse everybody else to get their way. And what this particular song focuses on is the effect it has on children and how it destroys their lives. And what it basically boils down to is, at the end of the day, if you're going to do that to children, there's no place for you other than hell itself. You're going to be burning in the brimstone and ash.
Absolutely. It's not something you want to be doing to kids, eh?
Definitely not.
So, tell me a little bit, when did you start Bastion?
Well, I've been doing Bastion on and off since 2019, I think it was, if I recall correctly. At that point in time, I didn't have much drive to actually push it the way I wanted it to go. And then once I started hearing the stuff that George was starting to put out, that actually inspired me quite a bit to push harder and actually have more faith in myself that I can do this.
Absolutely, dude. What I'm hearing and the stuff you put out, and I think the Brimstone and Nash song is, to me, so far the best one. I really dig it. There's just something so catchy about it, and man, if you can make some more music like that, dude, that's freaking awesome. Where are you thinking of putting? Are you thinking of putting a full band together on this?
I'm not entirely sure yet. I'm actually busy with a side project as well with two other guys here in East London. I was thinking of maybe drawing them into Bastion as well. I mean, my aim is by the end of this year to have enough songs together either for an album or, if I push a bit harder, for a double album. I mean, there are very few groups that I've heard of. I mean, I'm sure that there are, but that I've heard of that have debuted with a double album.
Absolutely. Now you're talking my language. You see that's my language, and I'm gonna debut. I'm gonna debut both my bands with 3 albums. So catch me if you can.
Which is unheard of. It's madness. But if you can handle that, go for it.
Yeah. We're talking about 60 songs on Trist, which is the band that I was part of in South Africa. And I'm going to redo the first album as well. So actually it's 7 albums if I add it all up of the 2 bands. But you know, I want to do like a 3-year tour. I don't care. I need to play, dude. I haven't played in ages, and if I can do I want to do a 3-year tour across the world, and you know, we'll definitely come down South Africa's way. And I thought about getting the old Trist back together, whoever can, and kind of do the first album. We will play as the old Trist, and then I'll do the new Trist. You know, so it'll be like a double tour type of thing, which would be really cool. But I mean, it'll be excellent to have Bastion playing with us, and you know, we hopefully want to do a Blister Fest down in South Africa, which should be really cool.
That would be awesome.
And then we still want to do the Metalhead pubs down there as well. So, you know, there's a lot of stuff to come. Obviously, COVID kind of put us back a bit. But
through a major span in the world.
On the other hand, it's given me time to learn to solo, which is something I've always wanted to do, and kind of I never had the time to sit and do it. And you know, I've made quite a good progress for myself, I think. So yeah, there's a lot of cool things coming, and obviously we want to launch our record label as well, and see how that goes, because I needed obviously a record label to carry the band, my bands, and then I also need to bring on board other bands that, you know, can sell like big time, because I need bands that can keep the lights on, if you know what I mean.
Yes.
You know, I need to sell out arenas, and I need to sell out stadiums, so we need like big acts. And then as you kind of build, you kind of use those big acts to you use the money to kind of build the smaller bands, or the newer bands, should I say. So to build up Trist and LMG, which are my bands, I'm going to need a bigger act to carry me. But that's how business is. That's how Nuclear Blast does it. They got Nickelback, which keeps the lights on for them. Everybody always points fingers at Nickelback, but they sell out stadiums, and they actually allow for new bands to come into Nuclear Blast, and it allows them to grow those bands. So if people want to point fingers at that band, Nickelback's actually helping the metal world in such a big way that you should never point fingers. And that's just how business is. And you know, you need massive acts that sell out arenas and stadiums and stuff, festivals, to carry record labels these days. So that's kind of that's the model that I'm following with my own record label. and at the same time going to grow my bands, and whatever bands we sign up. Obviously, it's like a 2, 3, 4, 5 year process. So we need to find bands that are kind of road dogs. You know, people that can go out on the road and freaking play like for 2 years, because that's how it's done. That's how you tour the world. You don't go to little pubs and play. You actually get on board with big bands, and you open for them. You take the shots that the crowd gives you, and that can be sometimes hard, I think, but that's what you got to do, and that's how all the big record labels are building up new bands that come in, and they have to do it because I mean we want to hear new bands, but not every band will make it to a big record label. So, you know, I'm always got my eyes open for people who I can help, and there are certain bands that I could help to a certain degree. Other bands you can just kind of help here and there, but you know we want to take care of a lot of the local acts with our metalhead pubs that we want to do. So that eventually will come into play. And I've spoken to you about a metalhead pub down in East London. So we definitely want to do one in Bloemfontein because that's where I kind of come from, and there's someone down there that will run it, and I thought it would be really cool if Barney Simon, and people who know Barney Simon from the old days, could run the Johannesburg pub, Metalhead pub. I think it'll be a great drawing card because he's got the personality, and everybody knows him, and I kind of like to get people.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, Barney Simon is pretty much the godfather of metal in South Africa.
Exactly.
So who better to use?
Exactly. That's what I thought. And then down in Cape Town, it would be nice to have a metalhead pub down there as well. And you know, so it's weird. South Africa is weird. You know how hard it is to tour from Johannesburg to Cape Town and do a tour. I mean, back in the day when I was touring South Africa, I mean, we went down to Durban and we played with a band called V, and then I think they were running Witch Doctor. They were running Witch Doctor Records, and they brought Sepultura and Soulfly to South Africa. So but it's crazy. I mean, you go down to a place like Durban and you go in there and you play in front of, you know, not many people, and you've just done like a 7-8 hour trip. And so that's why I always say Johannesburg is obviously a place where you want a metalhead. I know Bloemfontein has actually got a good metal scene, actually. They've always had a metal scene down there, but it'll be nice to have a pub down there. And anyway, I've promised a pub to somebody, and I've spoken to you about a pub as well.
That's correct, yeah.
So, you know, we will see how it goes. So, as far as I'm concerned, get Bastion together as tight as you can, because when the time comes, and you know, we will see what can be done. You know,
as far as Bastion goes, I think if I recall, I might stand on a correction. I should have enough lyrics for at least 18, maybe 19 songs. It's just a matter of getting the music together to back those lyrics.
Well, that's cool, man. And I mean, from what you're putting out there, I'm really impressed, and I dig it. And your recording could be maybe a little bit better. I don't know. Where did you record that song? Is it like on your computer or something?
Well, the setup I have here at home is extremely basic. I mean, I have a marked up amplifier that runs through a USB interchange directly into my PC, so it's not really a studio as such. It's just a recording station, so it picks up all of the ambient noise and all of that in the room as well, so it does make it difficult to get a good recording. However, that said, once I've got all of my stems done, I send that across to George, and then he plugs it into his DAW and he does whatever magic he possibly can to it to try and clean it up.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely something obviously that you got to do. And the quality on it is it's a bit grindy, but playing through my system, yeah. So I'm going to play the song just now. It's going to be it's still cool though, but it'll be good to hear it through like a solid recording, a proper. You know, when I did Trist, we went up to B-Sharp Studios in Boksburg, and the guy's name was John Paul. He used to work at Tom's Music in Johannesburg before he started his own recording studio, and he's recorded he's recorded loads and loads of people. I mean, and the Trist recording that he did was phenomenal. It was a really good recording for back in 1998. We still did it on reels, and I actually still think he's using reels, to be honest. But he,
very few guys that still do that.
Yeah, he knows his stuff. He's good. He actually bought equipment for when Trist was coming up to do the recording, and it made a difference, which was really cool. So it does help to actually go to a proper studio, get the whole band in, and do it properly. So you never know. I mean, if I like what I hear, maybe the record label will help you a little bit, and you can go and do it properly, and not give it over to, not send pieces over. I know people are recording like that these days, but you know what? It is cool to go into a real studio and kind of do the real thing. You got to experience. I still say you got to experience the studio if you can. Get your whole band in and just experience it, because it is something. It's really cool, and to record it as well, because recording your band, doing the whole recording with the whole band there, you can make your own movie, which is something. I mean, everybody needs to do it these days, and as someone who's gonna represent a record label, I know that you got to build up. Everything you can, dude. If you want to build a brand and you want to make it professionally, you got to give it all, and you got to, people want to see you sitting there playing that guitar and doing the thing in the studio. They want to see all that. I want to see it. I want to put it on Netflix, dude. I want to put Bastion on Netflix and freaking, sit there.
I think as much as it is an experience for the band, it's just as much as an experience for those that follow that particular band.
Exactly.
I recall when Metallica did some kind of Monster, they did that whole background story thing in it. I mean, I was enthralled to see what their studio looked like, what their setup was, how they managed to get their sound to what it was.
Well,
that is ultimately, if you're a musician following other musicians, that's ultimately what you want to see.
Absolutely, and it inspires you like big time. I remember I think it was 91 when Metallica dropped the Black album, and they went in the studio for a year and a half. It was a year and a half in the life of Metallica. It was they were one of the first people to be doing stuff like that, and you have you checked out Year and a Half with the making of the Black album? That was absolutely that's inspiring. It is so cool to see, and to see what they got up to. And it might not be the heaviest thing on the planet, but it's still freaking awesome. I don't care what anyone says. It was well freaking done, and you saw with Bob Rock how he tuned those drums in, and how there's so much that you can learn off things like that, and getting to know the guys even more. And that's the most important thing when you want to bring out a band. People want to know who's in that band. If a guy just brings out a song and a couple of songs, singles or whatever, and you never see the people behind there, it doesn't dig as deep into people. You know what I mean?
Of course.
People start to remember you, and that's what you want to make. I mean, there are thousands of metal bands in the world now, and metal is at its biggest. It is, because if Cannibal Corpse can reach the Billboard charts and Gojira can top the pop charts, then metal is at its peak at the moment. We are growing phenomenally. So for a new band to come out and to actually stand out among everybody, you need to go the full length. You know what I'm saying? You got to do... We want to see who's in these bands. We want to see a freaking you playing guitar, having your own podcast. These are all things that record labels use to grow people. And, it's...
Yeah.
And it has to be done. I mean, I want to know who your drummer's going to be. What does he do? Where's he come from? How's he play? What is he bringing into the music world? Everybody's going to bring something in, and it is cool to start your own thing when you feel comfortable to do it. And I'm not saying everybody's going to do it, because not every band wants to be as big as Metallica. Some bands are happy to play the weekend and go to work, and that's their thing, but it's not my thing. I want to go play. I've worked enough.
Exactly. Well, Sean, with me, it's exactly the same. Give me any opportunity to have a guitar in my hands, and I'm happy.
Exactly. I've worked enough in my life. Thank you very much. I want to go and have fun and play, because touring and playing every night, that's fun for me. That's not work. That's just freaking awesome. And I think any musician, any band that wants to achieve something big has got the same feeling. I mean, but there are, and I never point fingers at people who just want, a certain amount of things out of their band. That's fine. And I mean, sometimes it's a bit crappy, because I feel that some bands should be right on the top, and they don't want to go to the top. But I have to, respect them, and that's okay. It leaves more space for me and you.
Look, as far as as pursuing music goes, I mean, my whole passion behind it is to make a personal connection with whoever listens to what I can produce. I mean, I have a story to tell, and I'm sure that there are thousands out there who have a similar story, that when they hear my song, they can say, "Geez, this guy understands me."
Absolutely. But dude, it's like, if I think about back in the day when I was like a dude at school and I had like no friends or whatever, the only thing that saved me really was Metallica. And I don't care.
Yeah.
They were there for me. Those songs were there for me. The way they were, the attitudes, and they, my personality grew because of bands like Slayer, Metallica, Megadeth. And that is what I want to bring to the world as well, because there's millions of kids out there that are lost and can't find their way. And then music is so powerful. Everybody knows music is so powerful, and it can make you into a better person. So
exactly, yes.
Yeah. So yeah, man. When can we expect this double album from Bastion to drop? And I want it to drop with a band, and I want it to drop with it's got a sound, dude. I want the sound to be big, because it deserves it.
Well, look, the follow-up song I'm busy with now to Brimstone and Nash is going to be a lot faster, a lot quicker in the network. It's going to be more of a balls to the walls, guitar in your face sort of track, and then I'm planning to follow that one up with something that's completely different to these two, just to give it a little bit of variation. But that is the sort of thing that I'm aiming at now. So it's not just going to be one monotone sound all the way through. There has to be differences.
Yeah, absolutely. Did you guys got together with George from Necropolis, your brother? And did you guys do a song together? You did a song together a while ago.
We've done two. We've done the opening track to Fallen Messiah, and we've done the closing track as well, which is Messiah Fallen.
Right. Okay. Hold on. I think I may have that track somewhere. Hold on.
So the Fallen Messiah is from our album as well.
Yeah, I think it's this track, eh?
That's the one.
It's that one. Yeah, that's really cool.
That's the one.
It's like got a real ambient feel to it. I dig it. Do you know what? If Bastion tours and Necropolis tours, and I mean both both you guys need to put a band together. You know, you need to get your bands together so you guys can actually tour. Because, I mean, nothing's stopping you from coming up to the UK, doing a UK tour, and then doing some European dates. You know, so...
that would be awesome. It would be the ultimate for me at this point would be to actually get into Europe.
Yeah. You know, like I say, it's not who you are, it's who you know, and you know me. So,
of course.
hopefully, and I mean, things will turn around, and I can get my stuff sorted out. Obviously, there's a lot to do, and I mean, I always see COVID as being a positive. It's not a positive thing, but I try and use that time to make it work out in my favor. And like I said, the business as well. We're actually going to turn it around and make it work in our favor because it happened. And you know that.
If you look at it from our perspective, okay, COVID has had many negative effects, but there's also been a lot of good in it, that it's actually given us the time to sit and think of exactly what it is that we're wanting to do. You know, I mean, with the fast pace of life nowadays, you don't always get that opportunity.
Absolutely. Dude, I mean, I've seen so many people just turn it around. I mean, even guys like Rob Flynn, who started his No Regrets podcast, which is something I watch like a lot because I really dig him. He has actually helped me so many times. I mean, Machine Head has been there for me through many years, and I don't care if people don't dig it or whatever. But I love Machine Head, and I love Rob. He's a plain down to earth guy, and he's out there to you know, he's always putting something good out there. Even if you listen to his podcast, it's great. And then there's Jamie Jaster from Hatebreed, and his podcast is freaking awesome. The Jaster Show, you can check that out on YouTube, as well as No Regrets. And then there's so yeah. I mean, I love Jamie Jaster. He's an awesome guy, and they always got something interesting coming on, and it's freaking cool. He's a cool dude. Now I'd like to play with Hatebreed as well. We went down to London a while ago when Hatebreed was touring, and we couldn't make it to the show, but we made it to their bus. We found their bus was parked at the back of the gig at the Electric Ballroom in Camden Town, and we actually met Jamie. There was no one there, and he was standing there, and I said to Russell, I said, dude, let's go and check this out. And we met him there behind the bus. And yeah, that was cool, man. So an unexpected event, but something very memorable. And Russell, who's a guy that I want to play drums for Trist, he was like a little fanboy when he met that guy. he didn't think, because Hatebreed is one of his favorite bands. So when he met him, he like just was like a little fanboy, which was really cool. Yeah. But you know.
Like a kid at Christmas.
Absolutely. But again, Hatebreed is one of the bands that have grown on me, and because of seeing the podcasts and kind of coming into, I didn't really come into Hatebreed with the music, more with watching the podcasts, and then realizing, you know, that the positive message that they're actually putting out there. And so, you know, if that's one band I want to play with, it'll be interesting to play in front of. I mean, they're more hardcore band, but they have thrashy elements and stuff. But it's really cool. I want to play with the big bands. I want to play with Lamb of God.
Definitely.
I want to play with the Gojeras, and Machine Head if I can. And I'd love to play with Metallica. I want to play in front of their fans. Just because I'd love to do that. And you know, they're not the heaviest band in the world, but dude, they still got those classic songs, and they're busy doing their next album, which I hope is going to be something awesome. I don't like all of
I
it.
mean,
I don't like all the new stuff, but you know, I still dig the old stuff, which is really cool to me.
definitely. I mean, just their stage presence alone is something to behold. You know, I mean, I've never been to any of their live shows, but looking at the videos, I mean, they command a stadium as if they own it.
Exactly, and I mean, but these guys come a long way. I mean, they're the godfathers of it all. You know, they're the band that became the biggest in the world with Iron Maiden, of course. So, you know,
Yeah.
and that's another band I'd love to play with. I always put myself playing with the biggest bands in the world because that's where I want to be. And if you don't aim for it, well, you know, you got to aim big. If you want to aim small, that's your thing. Like I said, I respect you for it, but I've got to go I've got to experience how it feels to be right on the top.
And I am exactly the same. I don't only want to be there playing alongside the guys that are at the top. I want to be at the top with them.
Absolutely, and you know, if you the doors will go open for you to get there if you really put it together. Find the people who are willing to take the road and take the. I mean, not everybody can. There's many people that cannot do it. I mean, you'll put them on tour, and 2 months down the line, they'll want to go home to their girlfriend or the wife or whatever. Not everybody's cut out for it. That's why I say, if you're a road dog, and you have slept on floors, and you can sleep on the bus, and you can do the flights, and you can do it all, then you're the guy that's going to go a lot further than everybody else, and that is how it is. I mean.
Yeah, it has to be an absolute deep-grown passion for you to actually pursue it.
It is, and I mean, for me, music has been that, and the older I get, the more I want it, and the harder I try, and because, dude, I've got nothing. I don't want to be anything else. I am a musician, and I might not be the best musician on the planet, but I am a musician, and that is who I am and what I want to do. And I feel that if you follow your dream, no matter how insane it sounds, you may actually make it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've heard it said countless times already. Don't just aim for the moon and the stars. Aim for the edge of the universe, and you're bound to hit a star.
Absolutely, dude. Hit heaven.
Awesome. Go all the way.
Go all the way, because you know what? It's go big or go home. That is all I can say. And I would love to play. I don't care. I could play a small venue or whatever. That's fine.
Yeah.
And you can have intimate gigs, which is cool, you know. But these stadiums and arenas are the most, and the festivals are the attraction for me. I really want to do that type of thing and just play to the, you know, have that big sound behind you. Because I believe my songs deserve that. I've got a lot to say, and I'm going to make it fun for people, so it'll be fun.
I mean, and coming back to the comment of not necessarily being the best musician out there, you don't need to be. You just need to be the best musician that you can possibly be. You don't need to be as quick on the scales as the next guy, or as hard on the picking and the riffs as the other guy. All you need to do your thing, and you need to do it well.
Absolutely, you do the best you can. Not everybody's the same, and that's a good thing, because we don't all want to sound the same. If
everyone was the same and everything sounded the same, how boring would metal be?
Absolutely, everyone's like a limited edition. They are like, don't try and be somebody else. Just be yourself, like you say, and whatever you got will come out. I normally, when I watch a band, I can see the soul of the person that is there. I can kind of read in if the band is like a genuine band, and they are playing from the heart. I can actually see that guy is, or that person is like that, and you can read them. Because what they're putting out there is coming from the soul, and it is who they are, and they're giving it all, and You can see if you've got some fake guy standing in front of you that's just ripping off something else, you know.
Yeah.
And maybe
I find it's also pretty easy to tell when someone's just up there to show off. You know, I mean, that's not the sort of thing that a musician should be aiming for if they're wanting to portray a story. You know, if you're going to be up there just to catch the shine, okay, if that's your aim, good for you, but that's not why I'm there.
look, that's the truth. And I mean, there are people that get up there and you can't help but think you can't help. They just show off anyway, and it's not because they want to show off. It's just that they're that good.
Yeah.
Like I'll take a guitarist like Michelangelo Batio. That guy is he's one in a million. I mean, I always watch his live stream, which he does as well. He's got the sawtooth guitars that he's promoting,
Brilliant.
his signature range and stuff. But he's such a down to earth guy, and but he's such a talented guy, and I mean, who can play a double neck guitar with both hands? Like play a rhythm on the one side, and then in the other side of the guitar you play the solos at the same time. I mean, that's phenomenal.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's not showing off. He's just able to do that, and not everyone's able to do. Not everyone is ambidextrous.
That is where the difference comes in for me. If you're going to show off, then it's going to be blatant. It's going to be obvious that you're showing off. Where in a case like this, if it's just pure talent, you can see that the guy's doing it because he enjoys, not because he's trying to show off or impress.
Absolutely. But the thing about Michelangelo Batio, he's such a nice guy, and he's genuine, and it's from the heart, and he's out there to help people, which is incredible. And when you're giving back that, you will see how far you go. You will get out there on that road, and doors will open for you. People will love you because you're genuine. And I mean, people see through people who aren't genuine, and that's why you gotta be yourself, and you gotta give back, and that's why I think a lot of people's, you know, in bands should be doing like podcasts. I'm not saying everybody should, but it's nice to get to know people like that and to see who they really are. And the same with making like we spoke about the recording and having that. I mean, I'd love to watch like a 3-hour Bastion recording of this. Maybe a double kind of DVD recording of the album for the double CD. And that'll be freaking awesome. That's why I say when bands go in to record, get the camera on. Keep the camera on. Freaking record stuff so that so where you can get it together and you know, put it out there, and people get to know you more, and people want to sit down. I want to sit down on a Saturday, Sunday in front of Prime, Amazon Prime or Netflix or whatever else there is, and I want to watch movies about freaking bands. You know, I want to watch documentaries and and I want to watch it's not just documentaries. Some of them make movies of the whole recording, and that's so freaking awesome. And you know, that came back to the Metallica when they did the 1.5 years in the life of Metallica. Dude, watching that was so inspirational for like when I was like 18 years old, and it was incredible. I think I wore the VHS tape through. We watched it so many times, but I mean, it's stuff like that keeps kids kind of off the streets and inspires them to want to pick a guitar up, a drum kit up, write lyrics, pick a bass up. People need that, you know. People.
Yes.
I mean, you got your smartphone these days, and I'd rather be watching like bands in the studio doing stuff, and it's better than just going on and scrolling through Facebook, wasting your time, and reading all crap comments that kind of get you, you know. I just skip past rubbish, but then when I find the quality stuff and I can sit and watch a video or something, that is what I love, and that's how I find like new bands, new musicians, new people to follow. And and people are doing stuff on guitar that I really like, I've never seen before, and I love that stuff. And if you got the ability to do that, do it, because it inspires people.
Yeah, look, music is exceptionally inspirational. I mean, my biggest inspirations currently over the last couple of months. I've obviously been listening to a lot of Sabbath again, but like I said, the stuff that George is pushing out in Necropolis, he tends to downrate himself quite a bit, but he doesn't see it from the other point of view. I mean, to me, his stuff is inspirational. I just want to do what he does and better. You know,
Absolutely.
And as far as a touring point of view, up until December last year, there's stuff that I couldn't do that I now can do because I've started listening to other bands, particularly like Lamb of God.
Yeah.
And my whole chord structure on Brimstone and Nash is based on Memento Mori.
Okay. Well, you can hear the quality of that song. Your writing is, it just blew me away. It was like, this is like a hit song. This is a song that should be freaking, up there, right at the top. It is that good. And if you produce a double album, like that, dude, you can only win. It's Bastion will rise up from the ashes and I believe you can do it. And and you don't need to.
I'm working very hard on that now.
You don't need to rush songs. Just make them good, and you know how to do it. So and I think George can maybe look at you and go, wow, my brother knows what he's doing. It's a freaking awesome stuff. So you two guys are really talented, and it'll be good to see Necropolis become something, as a real band. I know Gary Groves from MMC, from the coalition that they've got together. He said before I came on, I was speaking to him. He said, "I'm gonna say hi to you, by the way."
Brilliant! Thanks, man. Thanks, man. Hi, Gary.
So but we're gonna have MMC on Saturday next week if everything goes well, and I hope to get George and Gary.
I'll definitely tune in.
Yeah, George and Gary on together. They got a new drummer, which is now permanent. But
all right, brilliant.
I think if George can pull Necropolis together as well, and I mean he writes such cool music. It's so freaking awesome.
Definitely.
I really love the Necropolis stuff. He's always, whenever he releases something, I mean, I'm always playing it, and it's always something that stands out, and that's what I love. I don't love music that I can't remember. I'm just tuned in a different way. I kind of like music that's catchy, and there's got a catchy hooks and catchy guitar or catchy parts, and it's got to have something that I can remember because I want to sing it back to you.
Definitely, yeah. And in that line, I remember when George and I were still learning to play. One of the things that our dad kept saying to us was, just remember, if you want this to work, make sure that there's something in your song somewhere that hooks the listener and makes them want to come back and listen to it again.
Now there's an intelligent man. Absolutely, and I mean that's a great. I love that because the music I'm doing is the same, and I use the same principle. Because it makes sense to me, and it's just the kind of music I love. And I mean, I come from the thrash background, and I kind of like a bit of grindcore, I like a bit of death, I like a bit of everything really. If it's good, I'm going to be listening to it, and I'm open to everything. Black metal as well. I love the heaviness of black metal. I actually when I do my recordings, there are some black metal guys that are just exceptionally heavy, and I love that sound, and I'd like to put that kind of sound into my music. It'll give a different spin on thrashy stuff to have that massive sound. I've been keeping my ears open and my eyes open to a lot of things. And so yeah, I can't wait to get into a studio and do something and record. I got a lot of stuff recorded, like, you know, yeah, in the Metalhead pub where I practice and stuff. So all my stuff recorded are like on Garage Band and stuff like that, and all the ideas. But I can't wait to get into. I got to go to a genuine studio, and we got to do it properly, and we got to film the thing. We got to put out proper stuff, because I mean, if you're going to do it professionally, and that's the way I'm going, you got to do it like that.
When you do eventually get to that point, I'd love to actually watch that video and have a look at exactly what your processes are, if I may.
Yeah. We will definitely. I'm sure we're still going to talk a lot, and it will be cool to write a song with you at some point, and maybe have two vocals and guitaring. I thought about doing what Roadrunner Records did back in the day, when they got all the different. It was the Roadrunner United album that they brought out. I don't know if you ever heard of it.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. I remember that.
I'd like to do something like that, and the reason why is because when you go out and play with, let's say I go play with you guys, I go play with Necropolis, we can all get on stage and do that one song together. And you know, I think that's really cool. Be awesome. Yeah. And there's a lot of bands that I would like to be playing with, doing a song with, do a bit and there, but bring out a genuine album that, you know, we can put out and go. It's kind of like what Roadrunner Records did on that Roadrunner United album, which I think was really cool. It was something unexpected, and I mean, they had so many cool people on there. It was just a phenomenal record, and all the music was different, but there were so many hit songs on there. I still play that album, and it's just freaking cool, man. But when you do an album like that, you need, like what they did. They had Rob Flynn. He was one of the guys that was in charge of one part, and then they had Matt Heafy from Trivium. Who else did they have? There was a couple of other guys that were. I think Dino from Fear Factory. He was one of the guys that were leading, you know, writing, in charge. So there was like 4 or 5 people that were like the main guys that were in charge of making the songs and putting it together, and it really worked. And you need that. You need people who know what they're doing. Otherwise, it ends up being crap.
Definitely, yeah.
But, dude, we need to play this new song of yours. We need to play it. I'm gonna play it now. So this is right. So this is Brimstone and Nash, and I hope it's loud enough.
Yeah.
Here we go.
All right then. Enjoy.
Hell's gates.
So that is Brimstone and Nash. It's freaking cool. It's just the drums are a bit muffled on my side for some reason, but some really cool rhythms, dude.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah. We got Tanya Furi on here saying the lead part still gives me goosebumps. It never gets old. So who?
All right.
Is it Talia Furi? Talia Furi.
Oh,
sorry.
yeah.
Yeah, man. It's really cool. I reckon if that was recorded like in a proper studio and the drums came out a little bit better,
Yeah.
the song would, dude. It's a great song. It's an awesome song, and you know, when I listen to it through headphones, it sounds a lot better than listening through it. Yeah, and it's just the recording process, like you said. It's not professionally done. But when you do it professionally, it's going to sound absolutely even better, which is so cool. And to hear that live, it's got one of those rhythms where you just want to headbang. You gotta be in the front row.
Definitely.
Right in the front row, dude. Headbanging. That's what I want.
I'm sitting here now listening to it. I'm the one that wrote it, but I still find myself bobbing my head up and down while it's playing. You know,
Absolutely.
It just sort of grabs you.
Yeah, and that's why you're the double album man, and I'm telling you that's the way to go because there are, like you said, only a few bands that have released 2 albums at once, but not as a debut album. That's something really, that's hardcore. I like that. You know, that's up there with me.
Oh yeah, definitely.
No, so it's going to be good to hear that, and it'll be nice to actually get you guys in a proper studio and do the whole thing, and it'll be cool. So who do you have in mind to play with you? You say you're doing something else at the moment. What is this other project you're doing?
I've got 2 other local guys that I met quite a number of years ago. I met them just after the Neocon days, so that would have been about 2007, 2008. Recently made contact with them again, and we are going to be starting a little sideline project that I'm referring to as Mercury. Being a metal band, what better name to go for than a liquid metal?
Absolutely, that's cool. That's cool, man.
So we're still trying to find our feet and suss each other out to see exactly what each of us can bring to this project. But I'm thinking it'll be something positive. It looks positive thus far.
Okay. So what do you plan to kind of do with this band? Do you want to do an album as well? Or?
Yeah, I want to do exactly the same as what I'm aiming to do with Bastion, and that is to ultimately take the band international.
You see, now, you again on my level, 2 bands, that's good, which means you play a lot. And, I personally want to take my 2 bands out at the same time, and to do the... obviously got to grow the bands. It'll be nice to kind of do like an hour show on each band and play 2 hours a night.
Yeah. And definitely.
So my goal is to release my bands as the headlining act, which is also something that you don't just do.
No.
So, but again, it's aiming big and thinking big and doing something that the world doesn't expect. That no one expects a brand new band, 2 bands out of the gate just to headline, because no one will know you. But the smart thing is
I think of the early days of Metallica. They started out as a garage band doing covers of Motorhead and bands of those days.
Yeah.
Just being a covers band, nobody really expects anything great of you. But look at where they are because they had that vision, they had the passion to push through.
Yeah. The thing is, the right place, right time, It is an amazing. I still believe, obviously, that things don't just happen for willy-nilly reasons. You are going to be at the right place at the right time, and everything in this world there's more to it than people know, and you know about it too. But
definitely yes.
I believe that we are at the right place at the right time, me and you, and
definitely.
A band that wants to do 2 albums as a debut album, and it is good as that song that I just heard. It's something that I would like to maybe one day have on my record label, but we'll see. I mean, it's not. I'm not the. I don't decide. I'm not the only guy that decides. My dad is actually the main guy behind it all, and
definitely.
He's the guy who decides. And I said to him, I went and opened my mouth one day and said to him, I would actually like to do both bands. And then I said to him, I would like to do something that hasn't been done before and drop 3 albums on each band. And then he went and he said, okay, you want to do that? He says, once you say that to me and you mean it, he says, then
there's no turning back.
No, you cannot go back, because you got to understand, my dad is a type of guy who, once you kind of make an oath, you got to see it through. And you have to see it through, and he will make you see it through. And because the thing is, he will budget. He's already budgeted for all this. And he said, now that I've put investments down, money down for the whole thing to happen, now you got to do it. So that's why I've been playing. I've actually not done a lot of metalhead stuff because I've been practicing so much. I've been practicing a lot. And I have to, because I got to put my money where my mouth is. And like I said, once he's put the money down, the investments down, the plan down, you don't pull out. You might get...
Definitely not.
It's just the way he is and the way he brought me up. So once I opened my big mouth and said I was going to do it, he jumped in and said, right, and he went and planned a bunch of stuff. And then COVID hit, and he said, that's not a problem. We're still going to do it. So
just a slight delay.
It's just a slight delay, but at the same time, he said, I need to up my game. And I went, what do you mean? And he said, you're going to need to solo like the guys that you listen to. And I was like, that's cool. And, so I see your brother's up. I see George is watching as well. Dude.
Oh, brilliant.
Cheers, George. I'm having a whiskey with your brother. We couldn't get Michael on because South Africa sucks. I don't know why. No video feed, but we can hear you, and that's good enough. That's good enough for me.
Yeah, brilliant.
But dude, thank you for coming on. We've been chatting for like an hour. Non-stop.
Thank you very much for having me on and reviewing my song. It really means a lot to me, Sean.
Absolutely, dude. What I'm hearing is great. I can't wait for this double album, and I can't wait to see the recording of this album, and I can't wait to see who you put in the band, and I can't wait to see what type of musicians they are and what type of people they are. And I would personally do Bastion above the other band that you're going to do, and focus just on that to kind of but again, if you can do 2 bands and they are both good, then why not? And you never know, maybe the same guy's playing the same band, and it'll be cool to see you do like 2 different styles of music, because obviously that is what I'm trying to do with Trist. We doing one style, and with LMG it's a different style, which is really cool. It gives me the opportunity to as a vocalist, I want to do like a deathy, grindy vocal, but in the other band I would like to sing like clean tone and still have the heavy, obviously the blend, and I can't do it in the one band, but I can do it in the other band, which to me, I get my pull.
It's exactly how I'm seeing what I'm doing at the moment. I mean, Bastion is pretty much about that heavy, deep, dark, growling sort of vocals.
Yeah.
Whereas Mercury, I want to head more towards the singing kind of vocal, still with a little bit of a grind in it.
Yeah.
But leaning more towards the clean vocals.
Yeah, that's kind of. Do you know what? I love singing, and I love, but I kind of want to go a different way. And it's about kind of. I mean, if you're a musician, and there's different levels to you, then I think the two, 3 bands is how you kind of get your pull on. You know, it's fulfilling, and if because I do a kind of a Johnny Cash band as well called Damaged Dove, which is totally different, and you can check it out on my profile. If you put in Damaged Dove, you'll see my page there, and you'll see it's an acoustic guitar, and it's not metal at all. And what I planned with that is to actually do a movie and go down to Nashville. I want to do a movie. I'll be riding up in a Cadillac. I'll be picking up some.
Oh, nice.
I'm going to be picking up someone on the side of the road, and I've got this. We got this whole movie kind of coming and planning, but it's got nothing to do with metal. It's kind of more country and more. You see, unlike what Metallica went and done with Load and Reload, where they brought in like a country style of music, I want to split the band, because I'd rather do what Slipknot did. Keep it heavy. And then if you want to do rock, you go and do a Stone Sour, because it makes sense.
Definitely.
It makes sense. It makes sense to the fans as well, because people might not like Stone Sour, but they like Slipknot. So you don't try and bring in elements of something that doesn't fit. You know what I mean? Kind of like what you want to do, and with your other band. So.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's all good and well having a slightly toned down song here and there between all of the heavy stuff, just to give that sort of contrast. But it's not the sort of thing that you can maintain fully throughout if your main style is heavy.
Absolutely. But I mean, me personally, I love different styles of music, from rock to country to the heaviest metal that you get. I love it all. And
Likewise. I mean, funnily enough, part of my vocal training is I do quite a lot of the heavier stuff, obviously, to try and develop my growl.
Yeah.
But one of the songs that I use as a warm-up is actually from Aha, which is Take On Me, where I try and hit that very top note that he hits.
Yeah. What is his name? Morton.
Yes.
They actually brought out a movie. They bring out an Aha movie, which is interesting. I was checking the trailer to it, which should be very interesting to see. But again, the funniest thing of all is, I mean, they speak like completely foreign language, and then when they sing, it sounds like it's American. And then when they talk to you, they can't speak English. It's like, you know.
It's a bit of a weird one,
Yeah. But I know how it is. But I love singing. I love and I love all types of music. But I'm from the school of, if you're going to do metal, do metal. If you're going to do country in a different band. If you're going to do rock in a different band. It just makes sense when you try and bring country into metal. It's weird. I don't know. I just never got my head around what Metallica did on Load and Reload. And don't get me wrong, I love those albums because I understand that music, but it's not quite the thrash that they used to play. And that thrash is something I love from them, and that sound is something I love from them. And, you know, but I just felt, don't do that in Metallica, because Metallica is metal, the name Metallica. And then you want to do something like that. But they're a weird bunch of guys, and they also went through a lot of turmoil and a lot of changes in their life. And if they hadn't been alcoholics and all kinds of other things, maybe they'd still be playing the same music. But because they crashed, and James Hetfield crashed big time, it caused a problem in his life.
Yeah, that he did.
And I mean, that's their music, and I go, well, That's not what I would have done for Metallica, but I respect what they did. Like any band, you know, like what George says, Slayer. I mean, Slayer is a band that just kept going the one direction. The only time they kind of veered a little bit was like Diabolus in Musica, but still, they were Slayer. And, you know, I think they went out strong. They came back big time. Their last album was great. I thought it was awesome. And they made the movie as well. And that movie, I don't know if you saw the movie, the Slayer movie.
No, I haven't.
It's freaking hardcore, my man. Where they...
it seems I've got a lot to catch up on.
Yeah. So I reckon Slayer will come back for another round. I do, in a couple of years' time. I think they will give it a go. I mean, Kerry King is busy working on a new band at the moment, and he's been working on it for a long time. And he said he's coming back and he's going to do a new band. It's not going to be Slayer. It'll be something else. And there were talks of a couple of people being in that band with him. Phil from Pantera doing vocals.
All right.
So who knows? It might be freaking awesome. But Kerry King's an amazing guitarist. He's one of my favorite guitarists, and even solo-wise, that guy plays like everything precise. So you would listen to a Slayer solo, and it'll be like, man, that's just sounds like a bunch of squeals or whatever. But he will play that exact same solo every single night. He's genuinely incredible. And I mean, he is an icon, and that guy has brought more people into metal and actually inspired more people than you can imagine. Slayer did amazing
I would well
things.
believe so.
Yeah. Anyway,
I would well believe so, yeah.
Dude, we're going to call it an evening. I'm going to drink some more.
Yeah.
And we're going to play.
Enjoy it.
We're going to play out with Brimstone and Nash. And to everybody who's watching, cheers, dudes. Cheers, people. Thank you for listening to us. Go on. And we hope to hear more from Bastion real soon.